with Ken J.
What's going on, beautiful people? It is Why Not Us podcast. It's your host, Ken J. And today I have Troy Wheless. He is the candidate for Franklin County Sheriff. How are you feeling today, mentally, Troy?
I'm good. Good evening. Good evening. Everything's good. I'm in a good space and just peaceful, just as peaceful as you can be.
That's the energy right there. So, Troy, who is Troy Wheless?
Just a little old kid from Bunn, and you know, grew up here and been in Franklin County uh, most of my life, probably with the exception of going to college down in Charleston. But I'm just an ordinary guy that loves people. I love serving people, and I love my job. And I just try to stay in a positive space and just show care and compassion with people because I think that's one thing or that's two things that our world needs today.
Most definitely agree with that. You have good energy and you sure do have that compassion for people. So, Troy, what is your current position?
So currently, I serve as the major patrol operations at the sheriff's office. Under my umbrella, the patrol deputies, school resource officers, our K-9 unit, our community action team, our civil deputies, our courthouse deputies, and our part time. So I have a lot under my belt right now, but I supervise good people, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work with such great men and women at the sheriff's office.
Most definitely, most definitely. That's good right there. Being able to be around good people, being able to just feel that energy and vibe, everybody being on the same accord. So that's always good right
That's
there.
right. That's right.
So, Troy, what are your qualifications to being a sheriff? Like, what are the qualifications?
Well, I have a 4 year degree in communications, which is huge, and I think that's one thing that a leader definitely needs is to know how to communicate, but more importantly, to know how to communicate effectively. And I think that goes a long way in my job, especially in law enforcement these days. I think communication is something that is definitely missing. I have 15 years of law enforcement experience. I started at the sheriff's office. Worked there for about 5.5 years before I went to the state to license and theft. And there, mostly my job was investigative stuff, stolen vehicles, driver license fraud. I worked on a couple of task force while I was with the state. And then in 2018, Sheriff Winstead asked me to come back, and he appointed me as the captain of patrol operations. And recently, he just promoted me to major of patrol. Um, but I have a pretty good grasp of the things and the issues that we face locally here in Franklin County. I'm one of the few people that that reads or has knowledge of every incident that happens every day in our county, and I think that's huge for the person in the office to be able to know what's going on locally. I do supervise. I am the commander of the largest division at the sheriff's office. However, um, I do not let that keep me from being a normal deputy. I'll always be a deputy. I'll answer calls with the guys. The men and women. I'll I'll do anything. So I supervise, but I also work beside them as well.
Ooh, as a leader, you need someone that's gonna be on the line with you, and that says a lot about you and your character. So I respect that.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you plan to accomplish in your first 30 days when you are elected?
The first thing I'll do is, I think we are very young at the sheriff's office, and also as a part of that, just like all law enforcement across the country, staffing is an issue. And again, as I said before, there are some qualified people that work there, and what I want to do is try to build my administration from people that are currently working there. I think there are people that are very deserving and very capable of doing a great job and serving the citizens of our county. From the very beginning, I will say one of my big focus points would be mental health. We've seen a drastic increase in the number of mental health cases and mental health people that we deal with, people suffering from some sort of crisis. Um, it is very concerning. And, if you were to ask me, even with everything going on, with campaigning and stuff like that, if you ask me the question of what keeps me up at night, what makes me lose sleep, I would tell you it is me worrying about, the deputies that are working night shift, because we do work in a profession that you just never know. So, we once elected, the first thing I would do is, or one of the first things I'll do is try to increase our training to make sure that we can be as safe as possible whenever we're out there. Mental health, opioid epidemic, we're fighting that. But these are things, and I understand. The most important thing that I can probably say this whole podcast is, I know that the office of the sheriff belongs to the people and the citizens of the county, and it does not belong to the person that occupies that seat. And
Mm,
and that person that occupies that seat needs to be available. He needs to be out front and forthcoming and transparent, and he needs to be able to fight and to stand up for whatever the citizens need. And I'm prepared to do that.
I love that. And I'm glad that you said mental health because a lot of people are facing mental health issues daily, from depression, from anxiety, from PTSD. And just to know that you'll be thinking about the people that's going through that, that's everything. That's
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Life
that,
is tough.
Troy.
Life can be tough, and we all have different paths and different ways that we each got to where we are today. But the most important thing is we got there, and what we can do. As I carefully thought about a slogan for my campaign, and what I want to do, move forward. We are where we
Mm-hmm.
are. Um, we form partnerships. We hang around people with positive energy, and we move forward. And we don't look back. And we move forward and try to do the best we can every day. And I think that's a strong message to get out to everyone. Is that's what we strive to do. We strive to move forward. We strive to be perfect, and every once in a while, yeah, we mess up, and but that's human. That's what we do as humans. That's why we are human. But when you make a mistake, the best thing you can do is get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward.
Ooh, that's what it is right there. My mom always tells me that move forward. So that's great just to know that.
Yes,
So
sir.
Troy, why are you the best person for this job?
I really feel that I have the education, the training, and the hands-on experience, and I have firsthand knowledge of the day-to-day operations of the sheriff's office. Especially from the admin side. I share a hall with the sheriff, and um, there's a lot to go that goes into that job, and I'm fully aware of what goes into it, and I'm prepared. With we can take classes, we can take leadership classes, but until you are there and until you know what that job entails, you just can't prepare for it any other way.
Most definitely. So Troy, what will you do to improve transparency from the sheriff's office?
Yeah. So one thing that I'm very proud of, that I did when I got there is, we had body cameras. They were a little bit outdated, um, and so what I worked hard on is trying to upgrade our body camera systems, and we did that. And there's laws and things that we have to navigate when doing that, but especially when investigation and stuff going, there's information that we cannot release while the investigation is going on. But I think there are things that we can do. We can be more active on social media, because I think that's where most people get their news from. We can be more proactive in putting things out there to let the community know, hey, this is what's going on. Watch out for this, and things like that. I think last year, even now when COVID, a lot of elderly people got hit with scams and stuff like that. And I think that's something that we could put out there to let them know and let their caregivers know, hey, be on the lookout for these kind of things, and just be more open and just communicate effectively when we have things that we need to get out to the public.
Most definitely, most definitely. And Troy, before we head off today, what is your message to the first time voters, for the people that don't even believe in voting?
Yeah.
What would your message be for those people?
The first thing I would say is that even in my position, to be able to run for an office, a lot of people sacrificed. Um, you know, even up to sacrificing their lives so that we could be able to do things, and I can run for office and you can vote. So I, along with everyone else, was standing on the shoulders of people who made those sacrifices. The last thing that we need to do, for the people who fought for us, is to not take part in that, And, everybody needs to get out and vote. Do not let anyone tell you that you don't matter. Do not let anyone tell you that your vote doesn't matter, because your vote is your say so. And you can look at it as, if you don't go vote, then you don't have a say so in what goes on, and don't complain about what happens. But this is your chance. If you don't run for office, this is your chance to get out there and let your voice be known. And I think it's very important, and it's one of the most important things that we can do as citizens, is to get out and vote.
Okay. And early voting starts Thursday?
Early voting starts Thursday, yes, and runs through November 5th. This year we have Souls to the Poll. That's on Sunday, October 30th. I think the polls are open from 1 to 5. So we have to get the message out for people to get out there and to vote. And we have to make sure that we vote, encourage those around us to vote, and encourage those that haven't registered to vote. They can register and vote during early voting.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming to my platform and just informing us. Thank you so much. Thank you for the people that's watching right now. Thank you. Make sure that y'all go out and vote. Vote for Troy Wheless for sheriff.
Yeah. Let me say one last thing, Kendra. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And we talked a little bit before we went live, and the very first thing you asked me was about where I am mentally, and just the positive energy and the vibe that you give off. We definitely need more of that. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for having me on and sharing your platform with me. And if I can ever do anything to help you, please let me know.
Most definitely. I told you I want to get you back up here again, just to have you on the platform again, to talk about mental health, to talk about life, so people will understand, like, okay, I could talk to Troy. So that's what it's all about, to be able to connect people together. And that's what you're doing. And you haven't seen nothing yet, nothing but greatness for you, Troy. Thank you again for coming to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Most definitely.
You can be what you wanna be. See what you wanna see. Go where you wanna go. Oh. Why not? Why not us? Why not us? Why not? Why not us with Ken J? Why Not Us podcast with Ken J.